Murmuring and sorrow lead to disqualification. Have you ever wondered why you are not getting answers to some of your prayers? Have you ever wondered what is delaying your answers from coming through? Yet the Bible says you are blessed in the city, you are blessed in the field, you are blessed as you get in and as you go out. The Bible says God's favor is upon you. I know that there's been so many difficulties in our lives, but surely goodness and mercy is supposed to follow us all the days of our lives. So how come you don't have a testimony? How come you've not experienced a breakthrough? I wanted to talk a little bit more about character and capacity, and specifically how murmuring and sorrow can be a sure stopper. Now, under this series, we're going to cover a number of things. Okay? Under this series, I want to teach you that you are not supposed to let murmuring and sorrow, complaining, disqualify you. You're not supposed to allow discontentment to disqualify you from receiving the blessings of God. Beloved, these things that I've mentioned, murmuring, sorrow, grief, discontentment, they are not supposed to be mentioned among us as Christians. They're not supposed to be traits or attributes of a successful Christian life. Characteristics that are exhibited by such people are simply confirmation of a failing Christian life. Now, child of God, when we go to Numbers chapter 11, verses 1 to 2, there's an interesting story that I want to use to illustrate how murmuring and sorrow can impinge negatively on your capacity development, still under the subheading or the main heading of character. Now, Numbers 11, verse 1 to 2, when the people complained, it displeased the Lord, and the Lord heard them murmur, and his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burnt among them and consumed them that were in the outskirts of the camp. And the people cried to Moses, and when Moses prayed unto the Lord, the fire was quenched. Child of God, I want you to understand there are some things that God cannot stand. There are some things that God hates. Murmuring is one of them. God has given you a free will to be able to table things with him and discuss with him if you're not happy with how things have gone. Come, bring your matter. Let us remonstrate. Let us discuss it. That is God's invitation to you. So why are you murmuring in a corner? Murmuring turns off God and arouses his anger. Murmuring disconnects you from God. When God sends fire to burn in the camp, and it begins in the outskirts of the camp and begins to kill the children of Israel for murmuring, they should have known at that point that this is never an outlet to provoke God to answer something that you're looking for. This is not the way to do it. Instead of crying out to God for mercy, they cried out to Moses because they knew that they already pissed off God. They went to Moses, and Moses prayed to God. Because of murmuring, you can never be grateful in life. Murmuring kills gratitude. 14,700 people died in the fire that day that God sent down. Why? Because of murmuring. And Moses, had he not intervened, everybody would have been wiped out. God hates murmuring. So, child of God, when you look at 1 Corinthians 10, verse 10, just as Moses' leadership was challenged, Paul too was challenged. So he reminds them about the massacre of lives of 14,700 people that were murmuring and that were killed because of they just couldn't handle what God was doing. And Paul is saying, look, don't challenge me like this, the way Moses was challenged, and I don't want to go to God and say these people are murmuring. Okay, so what am I saying? Don't complain, okay, and do things in a way that's disdainful, because all you're simply doing is you're inviting the spirit of destruction and fire to come upon you and destroy you. There is a way in which you can actually go to God. There's a portal you can use, and murmuring is not one of them. Beloved, some of the fires that are burning in our lives today, in your life today, some of the fires that are burning were started by yourself. Because of your murmuring, because of your complaining, because of your grumbling, because of your lack of gratitude to God and what He's doing in your life, you murmured, you complained, and you were just an angry soul. So God could not continue to move. I'll be back on this topic of character and capacity next episode. Join us again on Radio Christian Voice with our host Patrick. This is Pastor Francis Musonda from Life Path Worship Center in Ibex Hill, Lusaka, Zambia.